right now. It's wonderful. So, and we'll listen to you on YouTube right now. So, blessings, peace, love you.
Great. Thank you, Rev Wayne Stills. We're grateful to have you here as well. I'm here with Odzi, and we are here for the children's edition of A Course in Miracles. And I'm going to go ahead and put it up upon the screen. It's having a very difficult time because on one computer, it tries to bring it up on some other thing. And on the other computer, I have it on a PDF. So it's much easier, the PDF. I'm not real sure why it's not showing up there, but that's all right. So here we are. We are still talking about the principles of miracles, and Odzi, and Odzi's holding up copies of the books, the children's edition of A Course in Miracles, and then Guiding Ollie. I'm going to let the mic go and let you say hello, Odzi, and talk about what we're doing here. You are muted.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Lynn. I just got my books. They came really quickly. And they're great. Like, it's a pretty thick book, but it's a thicker paper. So, but I'm excited to, like, it's a beautiful cover. It's just, and the workbook is about the same size as the text. So there's those two, and then I got Guiding Ollie. So I think I'm going to read this one on my own out loud, and maybe I might do it in Awakening Together even. I'm not sure yet, but I think it's a good little book. It's a series of enjoyable and educational stories designed to teach young readers the lessons of A Course in Miracles. So, but right now we're reading the text, and Reverend Devin Jesse Byrne, he's the one that compiled this with, I think the other lady's name was Ricky, was it?
It sure was.
There she is, Ricky, or there they are, or I'm not sure which pronouns you use, but thank you.
I'm just an old lady, honey. Thank you.
Okay, me too. Yeah, so we started last week and we read through some of the miracle principles. I think we left off on, did we do 6 last time? Are we on 7? I can't remember now.
I don't know either. We'll just read them as they come.
I think we finished number 6 last week. So I think I'm just going to start on 7 if that's okay. Or do you want me to start?
No, start on 7. That's perfect.
Okay, so everybody deserves miracles. Imagine if everyone could have a delicious piece of cake at a birthday party. That's what miracles are like. Everyone should get to enjoy them because they make life better. But before we can have lots of miracles, it's like we need to clean our hearts and be extra kind to each other, which is such a great way of saying that we need to do that mind watching. But instead, for the kids, I like that they're bringing it to the heart, because that's something I missed as I grew up and lived in this head. I had no connection, even though, like, I was a very kind child and person. I just didn't have this capacity to see beyond the story making I was doing. So I think I'm just gonna keep enjoying the cake and ice cream, because hey, if that's what miracles are like, I'm in. Anybody else want to share?
I guess I would share. It is really all about everyone deserves it. Everyone should be having it. But the course, it says that purification is necessary first. What that means is exactly what he's saying here. We need to clean out our hearts. and be extra kind to others. And really, that's pretty much the message of the course is, being kind to my brother or being connected to my brother, then I can experience God in myself. So, I mean, I think he's right on with pointing that out, that this is all relational. We have relationships, and those relationships um, have to be honored, uh, not just seen as, uh, you know, people around me are necessary, or they're, inevitable, or I'm going to have to deal with, politics, or people at the grocery store or whatever. He's really talking about being kind to everyone, looking with love on everyone everywhere. And that is what opens us up to see the Christ in our brothers. So I think this is really beautiful and really very right on. So thank you, Ozzy, for reading that one. And anybody else have any comments? Please go ahead. Karen, yeah.
Yeah, Lynn, I love what you just shared about being kind to everyone. And, that is what the course is about. And it's trying to see, that we all have the same interest here. It's remembering that, we are all here to awaken from this dream of separation and the truth of who we are. We really are one mind, and we don't have to, tell other people that, it's not something we have to say verbally, but it's something that we just know in our heart. And I think that it's really important to be kind. I said, I remember the story once of I can't think of his name, but he's a motivational speaker now. He's not real popular, but I can't think of his name. But he's a motivational speaker because he actually one day he was really depressed, and this just had built up, but he got on the bus and he was going to go to the Golden Gate Bridge, and he decided to jump over the bridge and kill himself. And he described the way he was feeling. He got on the bus, and nobody even said hello to him. Nobody was kind to him. Nobody even looked at him. And he was crying. Like, he was literally crying. Like, tears running from his eyes. And he sat on the bus. He said, nobody cares. In his mind, the ego is saying, nobody cares. Nobody loves me. It's telling me, yes, you're doing the right thing. Nobody does care. No, you're not worth it. So he actually jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. And long story short, when he jumped, he said he felt every bone in his body like break. I mean, he said he regretted it the minute he did it. And he ended up, I guess, from uh, divine intervention, or whatever you want to call it, a sea lion happened to be right near him and helped him to swim to the top, and he ended up surviving. And it took a lot of therapy and a lot of work to get himself healed and better and walking again, but he did it, and he became a motivational speaker. And one of his main messages is be kind, because everybody's fighting a hard battle here, and just a smile is enough sometimes. So that just brought that to my mind. It's so important to be kind to everyone. So everyone is deserving. So thank you.
Wow, thank you for that, Karen. That's something, people think, if they see somebody crying or they see somebody upset, well, it's none of my business. I shouldn't get involved with them. They may resent it if I come over and offer them a tissue, or, whatever. This is the way that the mind works. The ego works in a way that, tries to protect us from our feelings. And this whole thing of our culture of mind your own business, I think has really been harmful to us as a society, because I know when I was growing up, this will reveal my age. We had a telephone that everyone, there were several people that could pick up their phone at any time and listen to your conversation, because we didn't have that many phone lines. I lived a little town called Leadville. It was up in the mountains here in so it was called a party line. But everybody in town knew everybody else's business. Everybody in town knew what everybody else was up to. If someone got sick, people would be bringing them soup or dinners for their family, or if somebody died, the whole town would kind of come together. And I'm not saying everybody, it's not like, some kind of a fantasy place. There are plenty of people that didn't know or care too. But to me, in my circle, that between the church and the Elks Club and the Eagles Club and, all these different things, everybody was connected in some way with everyone else. And so, I grew up with this belief that, you don't have your own business. None of my business doesn't even exist because my business is everybody's business. But here in this society, we tend to look at these things and think, it's not up to me to interfere with another person in their feelings. And I mean, all that you can do is say, is there something I can do for you? Or, hand them a tissue or something like that. And it can change completely. That man might not have jumped off of that bridge had even one person offered him a hand. And that's probably what he has to say in his motivational talks as well. Um, but this is about teaching our children how to experience, how to be in the world. And so, the idea of teaching them to be kind, extra kind to others, um, that's how you get invited to the birthday party. If you want cake, be nice. And you'll get invited to the party and you'll get to have cake too. Anyway, Devin, wherever the heck you are, I adore you for the way that you put this, or whoever put this in here this way. It's just perfect. All right, I'll let go of the mic and anybody else who wants to share.
So I went to the course itself and realized that this is miracle principle number 7. That miracles are everyone's right, every piece of birthday cake, but purification is necessary first. Um, oh God, something you said, Lynn. Oh my God, I got so into what you were saying that I didn't hold on to what I was going to feed off of that. I really got into what you were saying. Um, but the bottom line becomes that as much as we want and we want this and we want that, but unless we are open to it, we have so much going on the inside, we can't. It's like me with my crowded house. I ought not buy another thing until I get rid of something. And that becomes the purification. I need to rid myself of the stuff that no longer serves me so that I can let everything that does serve me in. I'm complete.
Yeah, thank you, Zoma. And yeah, it really is a matter of you keep filling the teacup till it's overflowing. Then you got a mess to clean up. Karen, please go ahead.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Zulma. I love what you just shared. And to piggyback off of that, it's like, so also we want to get rid of these ego thoughts that don't serve us anymore. These ego thoughts that we think that some people aren't deserving of being kind to, or some people aren't worthy. Because if I'm thinking that, I'm thinking I'm not worthy. It starts cleaning out, like you said, purification is necessary. Asking the Holy Spirit to please heal my mind. You heal this separation anxiety or whatever the hell it is that it is. Get rid of it for me. Um, and so just seeing everyone the same and seeing that everything, not only seeing everyone the same, because it's really seeing that everything is an opportunity for forgiveness. Everybody is worthy of God's love. Everyone is as God created them. If I am, so are you. So remembering that, and he tells us in think it's chapter 5. The way to recognize your brother is to recognize the Holy Spirit in him, which is really throughout the course of seeing the Christ in our brother, seeing the truth in our brother. And this is what we're practicing here. So thank you, Zuma. I love you, girl.
I love you too, my sister.
Yeah, thanks, you guys. Ozzy, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was just thinking about the word getting rid of something. And I'm just in this
Excuse me,
mind of,
Audrey, can you speak a little bit louder or come closer to the microphone? I'm having a hard
oh,
time hearing you.
oh, you know what? I think my earphones are probably dying. Just hang on. I'll switch out and then. Can you hear me now? Can you hear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, good. Yeah, so yeah, the getting rid of something, I guess it just makes me think of it's sort of like we're saying it's a bad thing. And I don't know about that, because I think what I'm learning is that the facts are just happening, and I'm putting a label on it if I say, love or hate. And I'm confused about love, even, because I really don't know what love is, in the sense of unconditional love, or I'm learning more what that is, and seeing it more. But then if I put on top of that, okay, this is going to be something to help you get rid of these things, I just feel it doesn't work for me, the word. What do you guys, can we converse about this? And I know it's just a word and there's symbols and yada yada, but I'm just letting you know I'm a little disturbed by it.
By the idea of letting go, you're disturbed about, or
Of the
getting
word
rid of,
getting rid, R-I-D,
getting rid. Yeah.
to get rid of something. I don't think that's what the I don't think that's what this is about. It's about accepting what's happening as is, without labels of I'm gonna die because I'm uncomfortable and I gotta get rid of this. It's just really, it
Well,
seems.
think about this. Instead of thinking about rid, think about riding. I'm riding through this. I rid through it. I'm on my horse and I'm galloping along. I'm riding
Oh
through
my
this
God.
dream. And you can go back and say, oh, I rid through that. Change the idea of rid to mean moving through without being hindered.
I love that. That is so beautifully perfect for me. That works. Thank you.
Thank you, Odzi. And yeah, Zelma, these are the miracle principles directly from the Course. This is taking directly the Course in Miracles and turning it into words and concepts that children can understand, and therefore making it easier for me to understand as well. So I love it. Okay, anybody else on miracle principle number 7? Any other comments? So who would like to read number 8?
I will.
Thank you.
Miracle principle number 8. Miracles are like super healing hugs. Imagine you have lots of toys and your friend doesn't have as many. When you share your toys with your friend, it's like giving them a big magical hug. Miracles are like those hugs. They happen when someone who has a lot of love shares it with someone who needs some extra love to feel better. That is so beautifully written. That is so beautifully written. I can't wait to find a child to tell that to. And I don't have the text. I didn't open the text for this one, but I believe this is the one for those who have more, for those to those who have less, which that only makes sense. I mean, because where I am today, I might be feeling great today and you might not be feeling so great. And so it's my turn to share, to extend and extend and extend what I have with you. And that light, as it goes out, it comes back, because as I'm giving, I'm receiving anyway. And it may not be that same person, but somewhere along the way, I'm the one that's going to need that extra something. And the way the universe works is that it'll come to me because I've put it out there. I like that. I really like that. Like, super healing hugs. All right, I'm complete.
Yeah, thank you, Zoma. It is very cool to think about it, because, when we read the words in the course, it just seems, those who have more for those who have less. And, what do I have more of? That is it telling me that I need to give them my money? Or no, it's everything. It's if you feel loved, then it's your obligation to give love. If you're experiencing joy, it's your obligation to share joy. In fact, you can't have joy unless you share it. You can't have joy all by yourself. It has to be shared. Or that's been my experience. So, just opening this eye of compassion to myself and to others. It doesn't mean that you have to give them, it's like, I was at a Course in Miracles conference and I had no money. I was like Lisa Natoli. She said she traveled all around and she never had any money because, people would pay for her to travel and a place to stay, but she never got any money to spend, so she couldn't pay even for her own lunch. Um, and she was totally dependent on other people. And I remember the same thing. I was at a Course in Miracles conference, and I had no money. And I couldn't afford to have breakfast, or but they had free lunch and free dinner, free lunch and free supper. But if you wanted breakfast, you'd have to get it at the cafe or whatever. But I was walking by, and Myron Jones and Sonia saw me walking by and said, "Hey, come over here and sit down." So I went over and sat down with them, and they poured me a cup of coffee because they had a pot of coffee there, whatever. So, gave me coffee, and that was cool. And then, Sonia was like, "Oh, I don't want to eat all this toast and whatever." Gave me half of her breakfast. I got everything. And I realized this is the miracle principle. She had more and she gave it to me because I had less. And as simple as that was, it was actually a miracle that happened. I mean, it wasn't a huge thing, but it opened my heart to the idea of, this is really that miracle principle right there, number 8, showing up right here in my life. And I mean, this is all you have to do is look around and you see it. Anybody else have any thoughts on number 8? Karen, please go ahead.
Thank you, Zoma. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Audrey. I agree. This is adorable. This is so adorable, this principle. And I have to say, this is a really good thing to read to like toddlers, because everything's me, it's mine, like they're so narcissistic, at that age. And to teach them to share is not an easy thing. It is not an easy thing. So this is really helpful, like this is really helpful to help children see this in a different way, that, actually sharing is giving and you get more. You really get more. It's, when I give, I receive. And it's not that we're expecting it. It's just the law, it's just the law. And, teaching them that at a young age is, I think it's just absolutely amazing. So I'm loving this. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so cool. And what's cool about it, thank you, Karen, for that. This comes from Devin, who has little children, and he's so dedicated to A Course in Miracles. He's like, how can I teach my little children this? And besides living his life in accordance with the teachings of the Course, he actually had the idea of let's make the book so they can understand it. And so there he was, someone who had more understanding, more capabilities, more, I mean, he's given us a great gift, because I wouldn't have done it, and I don't think any of the rest of us would have either, but we definitely appreciate the gift. So there's it's if you look around, you're going to see it everywhere. You're going to just see it everywhere. Anybody else have any thoughts on number 8? All right, who would like to read number 9 then?
I'll read it.
Great.
Miracles are magical trades of love. Think of miracles as special trades, like trading your peanut butter sandwich for your friend's jelly sandwich because you both love different things. Miracles are like trading love. And when you do that, it's like a love explosion. It makes both the giver and receiver feel super happy. Yeah, that's really, oh my gosh. It's really teaching children not only to share, but that, trading can also be an expression of love, because maybe I really hate this tuna fish sandwich my mom makes. Do you want to trade with me? And, you know, just my might not even like tuna that much, but like this little kid's eyeing my peanut butter and jelly and really wants it. And just to be learning to be kind, that's another way to be kind. They just give him my peanut butter and jelly sandwich because they don't want that tuna sandwich. And you know what? I haven't had tuna in a while, so it'll work. So learning to can't think of the word I want, but learning to like you said, then look around, like learning to notice other people's feelings and what's bothering them. And maybe this is something that might really help them feel better, even something like a little trade like that, and useful too. Like you're helping each other, it's like to give and to receive are one. So yeah, I think it's adorable. Thank you. I'm loving this thing so much. I can't wait. I'm going to order mine this weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I guess I should put the link in the chat for people to order it if they haven't got it or don't know how to get it. But uh yeah, it's the idea of um trading love. Uh it's like a love explosion. And it makes both the giver and receiver feel super happy. I love it. And I love tuna fish too. So, anybody else have any comments or thoughts about miracle principle number 9? All right, let's move over to number 10 then. Miracles aren't show-offs. Who'd like to read number 10? Oh, maybe I'll read it then. All right, number 10. Miracles aren't show-offs. Sometimes people try to use miracles to show off and make others believe in something special, but that's not really what miracles are about. They're like secret love messages meant for people who already believe in love and kindness. So this, I guess, is the miracle principle that says don't use miracles as a show or demonstration of spiritual power or whatever. But miracles are meant um, uh, to share love with each other. And so it's not even really a miracle if love is not involved. Love is the only thing that's real about any part of it. So I don't know. Anybody else have any comments on this? Go ahead. Someone started talking and then muted.
Oh, I thought I was okay. Um, in the Bible where it's written that Jesus said, don't don't stand around like this group of people over here who want to be seen and they just want to be seen and heard and they're praying really loudly. It says go into your closet where it's just your father and you. And yeah, this is the one when I saw show offs, I thought, oh, spectacles, it has to be that one. And that's exactly which one it is. Um, yeah, it's not about you can't force a miracle. You can't force love. You just can't. Um, and that's basically what that reminds me of. You just, it's between you and you.
Yeah, thank you, Zelma. Yeah, and this really I see this a lot in the world that people is who are either Course in Miracles teachers, students, or other spiritual teachers or students who are trying to impress with their connection. And so, and believe me, I'm not trying to, I'm not dogging anybody in particular, but so many people are like, well, Jesus is talking to me. Well, Mary Magdalene is talking to me. Well, Gabriel, the archangel, is talking to me, or, you know, we've all got somebody talking to us about something all the time. That's what Ken said, Ken Wapnick, we're channeling something all the time. Whether we're channeling the ego or the Holy Spirit, that's the only thing you have to be concerned about. And so, even the idea of somebody getting a special gift, like, Jesus talking directly to them. Even Helen, she was not saying, oh, this is a special thing. Helen Schuckman, who scribed the course, she wasn't saying this is a special thing. She said very clearly, anybody could do this. All you have to do is ask and listen. And of course, we like to make people special who seem to have more of the Holy Spirit than other people do. And, I think what Jesus is trying to impress us on here is that we all have the same, we're all the same. And, if we don't recognize it in each other, then what we're going to see is something that we reject and say is wrong and bad. And so we're looking around and we're not looking for what can I accept in this person. We're looking for how can I make them wrong and different, or different and wrong. They're both different and wrong are both the same thing. So, either we're looking towards our brothers to join with them, or we're looking towards our brothers to exclude them. And uh, what we really need to do is look to our brothers for the Christ, because that is really the truth about what is there. And if we looked at everybody, looked for the Christ in everybody, we'd see that we're all channeling. Everybody it's all the same. Let's see who's got their hands up. Karen and Zelma. Karen, please go ahead, and then Zelma.
Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines as you, Lynn, because, by kids showing off, when kids show off, like, oh, look what I got, look what my dad bought me, or, look at, all that kind of stuff. Kids we all do it. We all did it as kids, but it is exactly what you're saying. And it's also, that's like training the ego. That is the ego at work. And, you know, teaching children at a young age, really to be grateful, to be grateful what you have, and learning to share, and learning that we're all the same, learning all the, the real miracle principles. And it is really about joining with the Holy Spirit. Like you said, it's really about joining with the Holy Spirit and seeing the other person as the same, and that we aren't different. And when we show off, we're really, it's it's not a good look. It's just not a good look for anyone, and I think when kids do it, they're just wanting attention. It's a call for love. So, seeing it as a call for love, a child isn't really, I don't know, able to do that unless they're maybe taught that, like teaching them the whole little sidebars of miracles, when, oh, when he's showing off, he's just calling for love. He really doesn't mean to be mean or be think he's special. He's just calling for love. So maybe just give him an extra hug, or something like that. And teaching them like go a little further with it, because it really is a call for love. So thank you.
Yeah, boy, how different the world would be if we taught children that, that when you're crying for things, it's a call for love. I'm here to give you love. When you see your friends having a hard time, they're calling for love. Go over and give them love. I mean, that doesn't mean you got to hug them or anything, but pay attention to them and experience them as yourself. See how you would feel in that situation. It's such a great gift to learn that compassion. Zolma, please go ahead.
Bouncing off of what you said before about, people thinking they have special gifts and whatnot. I refer back to the declaration of Dr. Holmes, who said that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. It's not, as the course teaches, no one is special or everyone is special. We're all in the same, we're all in this together, but no one is special. And yes, I may have I may be a prolific writer, and you might be a prolific speaker. Someone else can draw, but together we have drawing, speaking, and writing. So to think that my gift is greater than your gift, well, it's just plain stupid. Knowing what it doesn't make sense, and it puts people in a position to want to separate from you. When I was in junior high school, I used to hooky school. I wasn't incorrigible. um I hookied school. I was put out of Catholic school, and I went to public school for a month and a half, and I was put in a Spanish class, and I just happened to be the Spanish speaking person in the class, native, Spanish speaking. And it used to bug the heck out of me because the teacher, he was so fascinated. First of all, he apparently had never met a dark skinned Hispanic. And he was so fascinated, he kept saying, "Isn't that right, Zulma? Well, what do you think, Zulma?" And it irked me. I was trying to, I wanted to be the kid in the back of the class. I didn't want to be the teacher's teacher. And what happened, exactly that other students, because especially the girl who was, the brightest in that class, they started shunning me. And it wasn't because of anything I did. I was just being who I am, but this teacher was spotlighting me, and I didn't like it. And to this day, I'm not real big on having a spotlight put on me without me knowing it's going to come. I've adjusted sometimes. I'm called on for things, but I'm not. I usually I may ask, I may volunteer, but when it's something is like when it's thrown on me or my name is called, and it's something. It to this day it reminds me now. I realize that's where it's coming from that teacher doing that to me in junior high school. Um, None of us are special. None of us are special, and I'm clear on that today. I'm complete.
Yeah, wow. And that's a great, I mean, what a wonderful story that is because I had the same sort of thing happening to me all my life because I was always like way smarter than everybody else. I mean, I'm not bragging. I was like way smarter than everybody else. I got things before anybody else did. I understood things. I could, it was just kind of irritating, I'm sure, to all the other kids, especially ones that were struggling. And of course, I didn't think anything about it. I just thought, look at me, I'm the smartest person ever. And I've always had that kind of superiority complex, thinking that, I was smarter than anybody else, uh, because of that experience. And, I went through life with actually an overblown sense of confidence in myself. Like I could do anything. I've just always had that belief that I could do anything, but that brings about a lot of uh, upset from people around you. And it wasn't until I started seeing that and recognizing, oh, these people don't want to be my friend because, I'm, basically pissing on them every time I turn around. It took me a while to figure that out. I just wondered, why doesn't anybody like me? I'm so great. Um, anyway, it's the kind of thing that, if someone would have been, able to tell me, when I was younger, this is not the, that's not the be all and end all of life. And, you're so lonely because, you, you rub it in everybody else's face, how, how inferior they are. I mean, that's really kind of, I didn't try to be that way, but it was just, it came natural because that's how I was treated. Um, and so, and yes, I was extremely lonely. I didn't have any friends. Nobody liked me. I mean, that this sounds like really pitiful, but it's true. I was not well liked at all ever when I was younger, and just longed to get away from that whole situation. And it wasn't until I was older I started learning, that people like you if you are just normal and regular, and don't try to to make them feel bad about themselves or have some sensitivity to the way that they're feeling. But I think that's what we want to teach our children, that we want to teach our children, don't be showing off, don't be acting like you're of over and above, and look at other people's accomplishments and see how good they are, and see they may be a better artist, or they may be a better singer, or they may be a better whatever, and they need that as well. We teach children to recognize the beauty in everything around them, rather than comparing everything to themselves, or what they see as an ideal. Anyway, long story. Anybody else have any thoughts about this?
I love you, Lynn. I don't care how smart you are.
Thank you. I know that
I,
sounded.
I, I second that notion.
You guys are funny. I just, that sounded all really puffed up, but actually, now that I look at it from this part of my life, I recognize that I really wasn't that much smarter than everybody else. I just noticed things a lot. I'm just more like sensorily aware, and so I notice things a lot quicker than everybody else. I could hear people whispering under their breath. I used to think I could hear people thinking, I could hear their thoughts. But it was just because I was like really aware of things. So I really, wasn't that I was any smarter than anybody else. I just had kind of a heads up to a lot of stuff. Odsy, please go ahead.
Oh, Lynn, I love your brain. You and your brain are my favorite. Miss Marty Pam. I love that you said that you used to think that you could hear people's thoughts or whatever, because I was pretty sure of it too. I was pretty sure that I knew what story was running in their mind, because I would get a feeling. Sometimes I would get this feeling and I did not feel it was mine. I did not feel I owned it. Didn't belong to me, but it was just like getting smacked with energy from somebody else. And then I would just get this whole download of a story. And it's like, well, if it's not you and that's not happening to me, that is the transfer. I'm pretty sure we were hearing people's thoughts. I'm just glad that stopped now, because gosh, you know, the movies where I think Jim Carrey was in one where you could hear people's thoughts, or a couple of those actors were in it. I mean, would not want that. I mean, you think you do, but no, because the thinking is the problem. I was writing a few things that were coming to mind while you guys were talking there, and I just couldn't believe kind of what comes out when you just start writing, right? Because it is another voice. And it's like, even when I was in school and we would have to do creative writing stuff, and then, you know, I would just write and hand it in, and it was so fun. And then all of a sudden we got into the higher grades, and it was like, okay, you got to hand in your outline first, and then this, and then do your draft, and this and that. And I was like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. How the heck can you write an outline? I don't know what it's going to be about yet. I have to start writing, then I'm going to know. Like, I can't plan that. How am I going to know what the character's name is? I don't know until it comes, till that happens. And it was so, everybody else was just doing it that way, and it was like, I didn't feel like I could even ask anymore, because I had moved to a new place, so, you know, I didn't have that relationship with anybody in there. And I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Just was like, what are you talking about, Audrey? But maybe Lynn or can pull it into what's going on here. But yeah, anyway, thanks everybody.
You're pretty funny. I love listening to you. And yeah, it is because when we're younger, I think we are more connected to the one mind. I think that, you know, we haven't fully become segregated or separated. Um, I mean, when we first come in to the world, we don't know anything. Everything is one thing to us. You know, when a baby is first born, they're not looking around and saying, "Oh, there's a doctor and there's a light and there's a nurse and there's my mama." They don't know what anything is at all, nothing. They can't even distinguish between things. It all looks the same thing to them. It's like, you know, big blurry movements. And until, you know, they can start differentiating, you know, that's what we do. We come from the knowing of allness into the knowing of this particular being, this particular personness. And, you know, this is another good reason why I think it's good to indoctrinate kids when they're little, get them involved when they're younger, which is, you know, what kind of what this is, in in seeing things more universally than confirming and reaffirming their individuality as a person. Because I think young children do have a greater connection and can hear things and see things that you know, as we get older, we we begin to define the things around us to an extent to where it becomes fixed in our mind. That's why, you know, when I look at a cup, like the early lessons are telling me, I'm looking at a cup and you know, I'm saying, I don't even know what this is. You know, this is the cup like any other cup I've seen before, you know, but what about the first time I ever saw a cup? What was my, you know, how did I even know? You know, babies don't even know what a cup is. You know, you put it to their lips, you know, they don't, like, you know, wrap their lip around there and tip it up and take a drink. You know, they dump it all over themselves, or, you know, they don't even know what it is. They have to define in their mind what it is. That's why we learn language and define in our mind what things are. We give them names and we give them definitions, and then we associate them one thing with another, with another, with another. And as we are doing that and splitting everything up into more and more and more bits, we become less and less and less connected to the wholeness, uh, because we're focusing on the individual parts. uh, I don't know if I'm just rambling here, but I think that's why when kids are young, it's like, when my kids were young, I had a whole idea. I was like so crazy when my kids were young, because I thought I could form their world by living a certain way and showing and even I thought when my son was born, I was thinking, if I had like a big glass floor that you could see through, and there was stuff on the other side, if I trained him like from the beginning to crawl and walk on that, maybe he would not have as defined idea of gravity and he would be able to fly. This is the kind of crazy shit that went on in my mind when I was a young parent, because I was trying to figure out um, how can I train my children, you know, to not be so convinced of the world, not be so convinced of the world. And that's what we're talking about here is having a way of talking to our children so that they are not so convinced about what the world is, but that they actually uh, see that it's something beyond what their eyes can see and what they can define. Wow, that was a lot of rambling. Does anybody have any thoughts? I'm probably thinking, oh man, Lynn, you are nuts. Uh,
Teach them how to fly, huh? I love it, Lynn. I love it. I love it. You're an Aquarian. I know you are.
yeah, yeah, I'm
Yes.
Aquarius, the nutty kind. All right.
When's your birthday? February?
Yeah, February 9th.
I'm the 19th.
Oh,
I
happy
used to be on
birthday.
the
So,
cusp. I used to be on the cusp of Pisces and Aquarius, which I loved. Because I could say I would be like, of course, I have a split personality.
yeah,
Little did I know we all do.
yeah. And that's lesson 49. That's one of my favorite lessons. See, that's what, I love. Um, I think it's 49, isn't it? I have to look and see.
Which
Mine
one?
is 40, so uh anyway. Um, so yay, we'll have to celebrate.
Yeah,
Anybody else birthday coming up? Uh, all
I
right.
I love this so much. Thank you so much, Lynn, for joining and everybody who came today. I think we're just gonna do an hour this weekend. Last week was the week before Reverend Devin was here, and so we did go a little longer, but I think this is going to be fantastic, Lynn. I mean, we still have 2 minutes left, so I could
I
bring
love it though.
another 11.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ozzy, for making this possible and getting us involved in doing it. And of course, thanks to Devin for his inspiration. Like I always say, Devin, he's a Pisces. His birthday's coming up in March, so I think it's the 6th. Um, but yeah, he's a special one. We're all special ones. That's why I love we are.
Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, everyone. Um, Lynn,
Yeah.
I won't be there tonight. I'm going to go to that Robert Schwartz Zoom call for the that he's going to do a free Zoom on his book.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
I'll miss you guys tonight, but I'll keep you in spirit. I love you.
Okay, great. And he's going to be on John Mundy's on, what did I say, March 3rd?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That's going
Yes.
to be great.
And then this week too, if anybody is follows John Mundy, or Sundays with Monday, or what the heck? What did I just do? I need to no, close. I'm not opening that. Oh, okay. I guess I am. My computer is doing things I didn't intend it to do. But I was just going to look at the schedule because this Sunday, let me go find it. Here we go. John Monday. This Sunday, John will have
Is it the
uh,
Seeker's Compass?
it is
Seeker's Compass? No?
let's see. No, that's a new thing coming up. He's gonna have Dr. Bill William Richards, I believe. Yeah. Oh no, that's not. Oh no. I guess I'm all screwed up. I thought he was having this guy on this week. No, but I did notice that he has Keith Kavanaugh coming up on February 11th. So that's somebody to look forward to. Also, if you don't listen to Keith, he's very sweet. So,
Nice.
all right, very good, you guys. I love you all. Thank you,
Yeah.
Audrey. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Love you
Lynn.
too. Thank you. This was
Lynn,
good.
Bye.
This was
Lynn,
good.
you got
Yeah.
a
Gotta stay.
couple minutes? Or
Yeah,
you
I
want to
do.
talk later?